Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the webinar for the WCI, that is World Cryptocurrency Update for May. Can I just ask, please, just if someone or a number of people can just type into the chat box to say that you can hear me. I see Mike's typing. Wonderful, thank you, Mike. And welcome everybody. It's lovely to have you here. And I do appreciate your time, given that I know that everyone lives busy lives, and it's important to try and squeeze things in sometimes, so I do appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, just by way of background, I was appointed to the Regional Ambassador for Australia and New Zealand for WCI at the end of last year, and I'm very humbled and privileged to hold that position. I'm part of a team, a leadership team here in Australia, with Mr. Mike Chipchase, Di Black, and the lovely Patricia Devine. And I've got to say, Mike, Patricia, myself have been heading up the introduction of WCI into Australia. And it's been, and it is a very, very exciting experience. And it's like everything. It's like any newborn child. They're beautiful, they're cute, they're lovely to cuddle, and sometimes they make a mess when you pick them up, and we've got to clean up afterwards. And we're still at that stage, but tonight's about really trying to give you an update and a bit of a picture about where this is all heading. And just again on recap, Mike, Patricia, myself, Di, and Patricia's husband Robert, the five of us went to Singapore in September of last year by invitation by Mr. John Rock. At that time, he was the compliance director. In fact, he'd only been with WCI for 1 month, and he was to become the CEO, in fact, on the 6th of October. So we went to meet with went to meet with John, and also to experience a little bit about the company, meet some of the owners, the co-owners and so forth. And we were looking for some options for people that we were involved with in the cryptocurrency area, and immediately we could see the options and the opportunities here with WCI. So here we are now, 7 months on, and things are moving very quickly. And for those that have just joined recently, I'm going to give a bit of a recap on where we're up to and what's been happening in the last short period of time. I'm looking to give a recap once a month at least, and you will be receiving more information from the company. I've got a suspicion that you may well be receiving some information about updates, etc., this coming week, because there's lots of things on the go. Even though you might feel at the moment you don't hear a lot, believe me, there's a lot happening behind the scenes. So just by way of recap, WCI, or World Cryptocurrency International, was incorporated in February of 2017. That's just over 12 months ago. Now, just also by way of explanation, I should explain that the holding or the parent company is a company called World Cryptocurrency Exchange Incorporated, and they own WCI. WCI is the marketing arm of that business. The World Cryptocurrency Exchange makes its money via essentially three broad areas. That is, it makes profits from the trading of cryptocurrency, the mining and trading of cryptocurrency, the trading of Forex, that's foreign exchange, and other investments. And if you're receiving a daily reward every day, which we all are, that means the company is in profit. And I can tell you the company is in a very, very good financial position going forward. There are 5 shareholders, and 2 of those people put up the money initially. There's never been any situation about where the company's had to look for money. The company is not in debt. And our CEO, Mr. John Rock, is doing some wonderful things right now to broaden the financial base of the company, and we'll be speaking a little bit about that as we go. So the company was incorporated in February of last year. It started doing business really in May of last year, And then in that 8 months of 2017, the company turned over 180 US million dollars. Now, in anyone's language, that's a reasonable turnover for 8 months business for a company that's still finding its feet. And I've got to say to you that John Rock that is, came in as CEO and president in October, and the company was doing exceptionally well, but effectively flying by its pants, so to speak, up to that point in time. John's had to get a hold of it and to ensure that a whole host of regulatory and compliance mechanisms were put in place. John has a 40-year background in the network marketing and business industries with a particular emphasis in compliance. And as you can imagine, in the business that we're involved in, compliance is very, very important. So with that, and with some of the developments that are occurring, WCI is aiming to be a US $1 billion company by the end of 2020. So I would suggest to you that's just over 2.5 years away. We are looking to have turned over $1 billion US dollars. Now, you can do the numbers yourself. We've turned over 180 million in 8 months, and we've basically had only a small amount of, in fact, it was mostly operating in Vietnam, just started to grow into other countries from about July, August. So, we still are a very, very young company, and, we've got a very, very exciting future in front of us. We're now operating in over 30 countries, and I'm sure we'll get more information on that very soon about the other countries that are opening up with this wonderful business. Okay. The World Cryptocurrency Exchange Incorporated, which is the holding company, is registered in Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. And however, it's going to be changing. The registrar's office will be soon moving to Singapore. I'm not sure exactly when that will occur, but that is underway right now. And I would think we would all agree Singapore is known for its financial well-being, and it's got a very good standing in the financial world. And for us that are in this part of the world, having our headquarters, if you like, registered headquarters in Singapore is a really, really wonderful thing. Our Chief Operations Officer, Mr. Simon Lim, is the Chief Operations Officer for WCX Asia, is based in Singapore. And, we're in very good hands there from the Asian perspective, and we are a part of that area. But as I say, the whole company will be based there. On saying that, the staff are spread right around the world. We've got people in the US, some of the other countries, plus our CEO, Mr. John Rock, lives in Toronto in Canada. So recently, ladies and gentlemen, WCX Incorporated, or WCI, recently became the major shareholder of Blockration Incorporated. Now, that may not mean a lot to you, but it really, really is a substantial development in the growth of our company. What I should say, just to premise all this, is if you've come to this business because you're just interested in cryptocurrency, that's wonderful, because that's what brought myself here. And I know Mike and Patricia as well also were enamored with cryptocurrency and the opportunity through building a network. But increasingly, what's become more and more obvious, and what Mr. Rock is doing, he's actually realizing that we can have a foot in both camps. That is, a foot in the cryptocurrency world and a foot in the fiat money world. In fact, sometimes both feet on whatever side you like. But what this means is that the company, and because of the technology that's coming through with Blockration, we are going to be operating in and providing a whole host of other services that are much broader than cryptocurrency. Essentially, we're a multi-function money services platform. And I'll speak a little bit more about that in a few moments. But this provides us with a massive opportunity going forward. And I've just, for what it's worth, ladies and gentlemen, a number of years ago, and this is story time now, if you bear with me for a few moments. A number of years ago, I used to speak like as I am now, but to do with another business that was an online business that ultimately didn't go anywhere, but it was more the way it was managed. But the idea of what it was trying to do was brilliant. And essentially, I used to say that I felt, in my opinion, that the businesses of the future would be businesses that will capture activity that's already occurring. And when I say that, I mean I'm talking about things that happen every day right now. Purchases of groceries, petrol, bills, people going about their everyday business. Imagine if you're capturing that activity, you're monetizing it or giving it some sort of value, and then a portion of that is given back to the people that either created the activity or to others. So in other words, we capture it and we monetize it. With Blockration, that's where this is going, and that's very, very powerful. So again, without going on about that too much, I'll come back to that as we proceed. So WC on Blockration. Blockration have been involved in the digital space, payment solution space since 2011. The guys involved have been involved in IT and such like for a lot longer, but they've been specifically looking at the digital payment solution space for the last 7 years. They work with listed companies only. Right now, there are already 125 million people using the Blockration's digital payment services already. The company also has a very high compliance standard, and because it's built into their technology, and they are audited regularly. Now, compliance might sound like a boring thing, but if you speak with Mr. Rock will say that compliance is number one. And when he saw this company, and before he was able to go in and purchase the majority shareholding of this company, the thing that really excited him was, in his opinion, and I'm paraphrasing him, was that the back office for Blockration was the best compliance system he'd ever seen. And so what we need to understand when we're talking about cryptocurrency and dealing in the area that we're dealing, and also a network marketing business, we need to have very, very strong compliance regulations in place. If we've got good compliance, then we've got security. Now, for those of us on the call tonight, and for those of us that have joined the business recently, we are pioneers in a pioneering company. And right at the moment, there's changes going on. But what we want, and I'm sure all of you will agree, I know what I want, is I don't want to be here in 12 months' time saying, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, the business is now finished. If something's happened and it's gone. I can assure you that's the number one thing in Mr. Rock's mind, is to ensure that this company is around for a long, long time. And compliance and security is so important. So if we've got a business that's not only very profitable and here for a long time, it's not only going to help ourselves and our family immediately, but don't forget, this business is willable. You can actually pass it on to your family and put it in your will, whatever you like to do. So this is an asset that we're building. And with Mr. Rock at the helm, with what he's doing from a compliance perspective, it is putting us in a very, very strong position going forward. Now, currently, there are 20,000 WCI MasterCards being produced. Now, we will have our own WCI MasterCard as a part of Blockration. I actually was in Thailand just over a week ago for a leadership seminar, and I was asked to present on leadership, which was very enjoyable. But also at this seminar, there were a number of gentlemen from Blockration there, and they gave a presentation on the company, and it was really just an overview. But I actually held and had a look at the MasterCard, the Blockration MasterCard. The one that I was holding is a little bit different to what we'll have, because Mr. Rock has ensured that our card will be color-coded to suit our colors, and obviously we'll have the WCI logo on it. Well, there's 20,000 of those being produced right now, and they will be for us. And you will be able to have order and have a physical WCI MasterCard and a virtual MasterCard. And I actually saw someone sign up for a virtual card and a physical card. Now, the virtual card it's just a picture of the card with your name on it and all the details on your phone. There's a QR code with it, and it's just like you go shopping and do whatever you like to do just with your phone. Now, many of us will like to probably have a card that we can put into our purse or our wallet, and you'll be able to do that. But you can have both either or a physical and or a virtual card or both. So that is coming. Now, with this card, we will be able to load cryptocurrency and fiat money onto the card. That means, for instance, you know, your daily rewards that you're receiving each day or commissions that you're receiving. As you well know, whilst it's referenced at US dollars, that is Bitcoin. You will be able to move that onto your WCI MasterCard and then either go shopping, go and buy your groceries, petrol, pay for bills, go to the pictures, go and have a glass of wine or a beer, whatever you want to do, or even go to an ATM and pull Australian dollars out. And we'll be able to do all of this, plus, and you can be anywhere on the planet, and it will allow you to do it. You will also be able to load money onto your card from your bank, from a registered agent like Western Union, or a whole host of money service providers that you'll be able to load fiat money, Australian dollars, onto your MasterCard, and then from your MasterCard, send it into your WCI wallet. And of course, this means, I ask the question because it's the burning question for a lot of us, that once all this is in place, we will be able to send it onto our card, then into our WCI site or our account and purchase packages. And that will make things a lot easier with regards to getting Bitcoin into our system to purchase packages. Now, there's a whole host of other things that are going to flow from this, and I'm not a techo type person. Some of you will know if you've seen me, in operation before. But I find this very, very exciting, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. Now, the other interesting thing is, and if there's any cricket fans on the call, you'll be interested to know that Blockration themselves have recently sponsored the Kings 11 cricket team. Now, you might say, well, who are they? Well, if you've heard of the Indian Premier League, which is the 6th biggest sporting competition as far as money in the world, the Indian Cricket Premier League, it's worth billions. Well, Kings 11 PH, I think they're called, that is one of the big teams. In fact, it's owned by a number of people, including a Bollywood movie star. Well, Blockration have sponsored this team for next season. The Indian Premier League's actually on at the moment, but this is for next season. And in fact, some of the people, if anyone's in the cricket, you've heard of Aaron Finch. He's the Australian guy from Victoria. He plays in this team, and a host of other well-known Indian cricket players play in here. And they're actually, I've seen some of the ads that they're doing promoting the card. Now, all of these people will be part of WCI because WCI owns this company. They're very, very exciting. I'm just mentioning that because it gives a sense of, where this is really going. And we're, as I say, you've really just got to open up your eyes and your mind to think where this might go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, this may not come up real clearly. About 3-4 weeks ago, there was a press release that came out from the company about the majority share acquisition of WCI and Blockration. And there was a 17-page document attached, which many people couldn't open. Now, what I've done here, I'm just really this is the first page in it, and it's basically, I'm not going to read all through it, but it's about the WCI digital wallet and blockchain platform. It covers the wallet itself, payments, the blockchain, the core engine, which is all to do with how it works, and the compliance. There's a whole lot of information in this document. Now, if you haven't seen it, I would encourage you to do so because it gives you a sense of what of what we're actually going to be able to have. And it includes things like crowdfunding, real estate. We'll be able to download music, stream movies, all of this stuff you'll be able to do using your because we're part of Blockration. And how that's all going to physically work, I don't know. I don't know the mechanics on it, but it's very, very exciting once all of that's coming together. That's all part of the suite of products and services that we will have as WCI members. Now, thanks to Mr. Mike Chipchase, he's what a lot of people weren't able to, because the file was so big with that document. Mike had loaded the document up onto his website. So take the time to take this down if you haven't got it. It's freelife2.com/WCI/WCI.pdf. If you go to that, put that in your browser, load up, it'll bring up the 17-page document. I would suggest that you print it out, take it to bed with you, or maybe don't take it to bed because you won't get to sleep. You know, it's so exciting. Well, maybe you will. Who knows? But even if you don't understand it, because it is quite technical, it'll give you a sense of what we're a part, what's a part of us now, and where this is going. Okay, the full integration between WCI and Blockration may take up to 6 months, because you've got to understand it's not just like merging two businesses together. There is a massive amount of work, and it's mostly to do with the compliance. We will have all the money services and financial services licenses across each of the countries. And even that, it may be a staged thing because it's such a massive task. However, what it will mean when the full integration has occurred, that our WCI back office will be linked directly with the trading platform, our own MasterCard, and all of the Blockration services. That's why if you go and have a look at that document, you will get a sense of some of the things that are coming our way. What we do know is, now they're saying 6 months. It may be quicker than that. I'm not saying, and I've been advised that it's not going to nothing until 6 months occurs. I think that some of it will roll out, and in fact, as I said, the MasterCards are being printed this month, and all things being equal, we will have access to the MasterCards this month. Now, I've got to tell you, part of the challenge that Mr. Rock has had and the corporate team with the MasterCard and the integration, the initial integration, has been driven, or priority has been driven by what's been going on in Vietnam. See, the biggest number of members in our company at the moment are out of Vietnam, because that's where the company really got underway back in May of last year through a gentleman called Mr. Ed Hartley, and who unfortunately has since passed away, and our lead or head distributor or member for the company, Mr. Joseph Nguyen, and you'll hopefully meet Joseph one day. Joseph's a Vietnamese fellow that lives mostly in America, but he travels all around the world. But what's happened is, as of the 1st of January this year, the Vietnamese government made it very difficult for anyone to not only be involved in cryptocurrency, but any other currency or cryptocurrency. You cannot use it to purchase things in Vietnam. They'll only accept the Viet Dong, D-O-N-G. And if you're found to be using another currency, you can end up in jail. And so the big thing with Blockration immediately is these MasterCards will actually assist greatly our Vietnamese team and allow them to be able to access their commissions and so forth, and without any problem about going against the government laws. Now, of course, whilst they'll be able to access, so will we, but we don't have the problems in being able to access commissions as such as they do in that country. So that's what's driving it. But the MasterCard will be available this month. There'll be 20,000 of them. I believe you can have them just without your name on, or you'll be able to apply and get your name on it for a very, very small fee. Okay. Sorry, I'm just filling around here. Okay. So, as I say, the full integration between WCI may take 6 months, and it'll mean that our back office is directly linked. The trading platform. The trading platform is working out. That is, our trading platform is working right now. You can go on and buy and sell cryptocurrency. Unless you really know what you're doing, I'm not saying don't do it, because it's actually reasonably simple if you're used to moving particularly Bitcoin around. But our trading platform is WCX.io, and it is part of the overall ecosystem. So we've got to see this as not just a standalone thing. It's crucial to the ecosystem, which is what they're developing with Blockration. So what it means is that, in fact, you can go to WCX.io, you can go on and you can buy Bitcoin and you can move things around. And in fact, our own WCX coin, you can buy and sell. There are some limitations with it at the moment. But essentially, as of a week or so ago, our coin was worth $1.14. Now, I can say to you, in May of last year, it was worth 10 cents. And I know there's myself here, and I know other people have been keen to maybe get access to our WCX coins sooner rather than later, so that we can maybe sell them and pull in a bit of money to buy packs. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, you will be able to do that. At the moment, whilst the system is being developed, there is some difficulty, there's some limitations about how we can do that. But it's about understanding why and what's going on. The big thing that I wanted to speak about is transactionable value. And I say this more broadly because a lot of us have got involved with cryptocurrency because we saw particularly what was happening last year with Bitcoin. Up till just prior to Christmas, it was just under $20,000 US for a Bitcoin. And if you bought it 12 months before for less than 1,000, then you might have been, and you bought it quite a few of them, you could be maybe having a nice holiday right now. But the trick is, though, and most of you would be aware, that there's now 1,500 to 1,600 cryptocurrencies listed, and most of them are not worth much and maybe never will be. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that a lot of them have been created for a very, very specific purpose, and they've only ever meant to do like a very niche type role with whatever industry it might be. However, the thing that I like to talk about is what I call transactionable value, because if all of us have got WCX coins, for instance, or any other coin, if you're holding other cryptocurrencies, if you cannot do anything with them, that is, no one else wants them, or you can't buy anything with them, then it has little value or little purpose. So what's happening with WCI, WCX right now with Blockration, they are building the ecosystem. They're building the system where already through Blockration there's 125 million people that have access to their services. And they're building, if you like, this ecosystem, this economy that will, as a preference, accept Bitcoin and our WCX coin. So you will be able to load the WCX coin onto your card, your MasterCard, and be able to go shopping through the blockchain, through the Blockration network. And so what they're doing, they're building the transactionable value, because I would much prefer for the coin not to be worth a lot now and to hold it, knowing full well that we've got an economy that's being built that will value our coin next year or later this year or next year and beyond, where who knows what sort of value it may go to. And when you're talking cryptocurrency, you're talking people mostly talk about trading. So there's two parts to it. There's tradable or trading value and transactionable value. And the trading value is simply, what you'll go on. And in fact, as I say, you can go onto the WCX.io website, trading platform right now, and you can buy and sell cryptocurrency. and all you're doing is trading one for the other, or you might want to trade out fiat money. That's the trading, and that's a good thing because it means we've got coins, we can turn it into Australian dollars or whatever you want to do. But the value, ultimately, the value of the coin will come in the purpose and the value of how it's going to be used. And so when you get a sense of what Blockgration's trying to do, you'll understand that over the next 6 to 12 months, the value of our coin is going to increase. And I would suggest it's going to go very high. So we ask that you have some level of patience about that. It might be frustrating to some extent, but please understand we are pioneers in a pioneering company, and WCI with Blockration are going to be in a space that no one else is operating in. I'm talking cryptocurrency company, I'm talking network marketing company. We are going to be operating in a space. We're going to have licenses right across the world that will allow us to do things without being any fear of any problems. So that's where this is heading, and the trading platform is a part of that. Okay, as I've already started to mention some of the things on this slide, I do get carried away because I find it so exciting. What I should mention for those that want to know about the coin, the total number of WCX coins to be mined will be 31 million. There's already 11,400,000 WCX coins that have been mined, and I'm advised that all 31 million WCX coins will be mined by 2040. And that's important. And of course, one of the beautiful things with cryptocurrency, as we well know, is that there's only, and there always is, a finite number. So when we've got the economy, this ecosystem that's been built, and there's demand for our coin, which is only 31 million, and already nearly 11.5 million have been mined, that means the value of our coin is going to go through the roof. Do I know that for sure? No, I don't. But it's what I believe. And when you go back and have a look at that document, take it in, just read through it, maybe go back to it again, and get a feel for everything that's on there. Imagine if the WCX coin, they'll take WCX coins for all those services. It's going to blow the value of our coin right up. So it's very, very exciting. Okay, getting to some more practical things. I know we all have issues from time to time, and what we want to try and do is to really get into some good training, and we are waiting for videos to come. Again, a lot of the videos in our marketing and all that sort of thing is being held up again because of the link with Blockration. And so any video that goes out has to be compliant. And when it goes out, it has to be compliant in every country that it's going to go to. And you're talking 100, well over 100 to 200 countries. So that's the reason there's delays there. So if you're having problems and you're not sure, then certainly speak to your sponsor or your immediate upline. But can I suggest and really ask that each of us are individuals, we're independent business people, we are together, we're here to help each other. And I know Mike and Patricia are tremendous leaders, and I know there's other people on the call here, Mike Hodgson and others that I know that are doing a fantastic job leading their team. But each of us can only do a certain amount, and we don't have the answers. And a lot of the times I'm getting asked questions, I just don't have the answer. But what I would suggest, and there's two lots of support. There's support at WCI.com. That's more for other parts of the world, and it deals at a higher level, and I won't go into that now. But the people that are working with us and looking to support us are very good, and we're finding we're getting pretty good responses, and that's through it's support at WCXAsia.com. So if you email them, and if you issues with accounts, verification, all those sorts of things that can be fiddly and annoying at times, email them. You will need to provide information like your username and any other detail that they might come back and ask you for. But just understand that even though it might go back and forth a few times, they are wanting to help. They are really, really good. They're based in Singapore. Mr. Simon Lim heads that up. The lady there at support, who's tremendous, is a lady called Christine. I'm sure she'll love me for mentioning that. But anyway, so support at WCXAsia.com. Try and do that first before you actually go asking, because it's good for each of us to learn it ourselves, and then we know when the next time when it happens or when somebody asks us. And if you've got a team in the Philippines, and we've got people here who've got emerging teams in the Philippines, Mr. Bob Biscuna is the general manager of the Philippines. Now, I'm not saying you're going to inundate Bob with everything, but that's his email. He's happy for that to be there. And the other one is a lady, I think, that works with him. So that's for the Philippines, those two emails. So please take those down, record that, and you know, treat them with respect. Thank them when they come back to you. And I can promise you, because they're not robots, they're people just like you and I at the other end, and they're wanting to help. And if you treat them respectfully, they'll do everything they can. Mr. Simon Lim has been tremendous in so many ways, and I'm sure you'll get to meet him at some point, if not in the next month or two. If at our conference that we'll have at some point in Asia, maybe we'll have a conference here in Australia, if not before the end of the year, then sometime within the next 12 months. Okay, so WCI, what we have right now, and it's important to focus on these things. And sometimes we get, you know, we forget about what we've got, and so it's about being grateful for what we've got. WCI does its own mining; it mines its own coin. It's got mining capacities in Canada and a few other countries, and I know Mr. Rock is intent on increasing that capability. Some of that is commercial in confidence sort of information, but we've got mining capacity, we've got our own trading platform. When I was in Thailand last week, the head trader, unbelievably switched on young man. When I say young man, he looked younger than me. I'm not sure that he is, but anyway, he's very, very nice fellow. His name's Quinn. Mike, Patricia, and Di and Robert have met him. He heads up our trading platform. We've got trading centers in Vietnam and in America. We're working on bots, that's robots, as well as automated systems with humans. He runs all that. Very, very clever guy. So we've got our own trading platform, and that's just going to be increasing more and more. And he is so, when you can ask him anything about cryptocurrency and he'll come back to you. For instance, questions like, why aren't we listed on coinmarketcap.com? Well, the answer is they don't want to be. They don't have to be. I've got to say to you, these guys are running their own race, and they know what they're doing, and they're actually they're doing stuff at their pace to ensure that there's longevity and sustainability in our business. And so understand that it may be on CoinMarketCap at some point in the future if CoinMarketCap approaches us, but there's no need for us to be on there at the minute. That is really just a listing of cryptocurrencies. We've got our own payment gateway which takes cryptocurrency and fiat money. That's what's going on with Blockration. That is unbelievable. We are operating in both areas. You go shopping and you've got no money in your account, but you've got money in your crypto. You'll be able to just put it in and bang, it'll come out of your cryptocurrency account. How that all works, I don't know. But it's unbelievable. I'm just so excited with where this is going. We'll be able to load money onto it from your bank, from anywhere. You'll be able to move it into a bank. You'll be able to move it into your WCI account, all sorts of things. In fact, you know, you can actually, and I'm not suggesting this, but people will be able to run this business and not even have a bank account. You just do it all from your card. It's very, very exciting. We've also got a business. We've got our own coin, as we know, WCX coin, and it's a real coin. We've got 31 million of them that'll be mined. There's 11.5 million that have already been mined. So that's what you can tell people. We've got a business that provides people with an opportunity to receive daily rewards and commissions in Bitcoin, and of course they can grow an international business. Now, these daily rewards and the commissions, as we know, it's Bitcoin, but it's referenced at US dollars. And I would suggest, you know, just look at it as US dollars. If you just purely look at what you're receiving each day and treat it as US dollars, then you can actually work out just from it as what the benefit you've had from how much you outlaid and how much you're going to receive over the term of the package. But of course, when the crypto market starts to climb, you know what? You can actually pull it out and move it into the trading exchange. You'll be able to move it wherever you want to do it. So we can play in both worlds happily and not be frightened by the volatility that sometimes occurs in the crypto world. You know, so we are very, very lucky. I just, you know, and I'm pretty thick at times because it's a little bit like osmosis. Things take a while to drip through, but it's starting to drip through. And, you know, I really believe that we are in an unbelievable position. We are in an unbelievable position going forward. Okay, I get excited. So we've got some upcoming events. So if you've got people or you know people in the Philippines, in Manila, this event is happening this coming weekend. Now, Mr. Joseph Nyong will be there and some other leaders. It'll be at the Novotel Manila Araneta Center, which is in Manila. The address is there. I'll leave this slide up for a few moments if you want to write that down. On the Saturday, the 12th of May, starting at 4 p.m, there'll be a presentation, and that's for members and guests. So that's a chance for people to go along, learn about the business, meet some of the leaders. It's not, they'll have leaders there from a range of other countries. Good friend Henry, Mike, Patricia, and Di and Robert have met Henry. Henry from Vietnam, I think, will be there. But certainly others will be there, and Mr. Joseph Nyong, most importantly, will be there. And we can arrange for him to not only meet and greet if you've got a particular person that you would like to send along, then, you know, it may well be that a private meeting can be organised. So that's the dates for Manila, and if you need me to come back to that, I can. India. If you know anyone from India, then I tell you, it's going through the roof. Last week when I was in Thailand, I had the pleasure of meeting a number of exceptional people from India. And in fact, whilst I was there, 4 cities were decided for meetings. And since then, it's grown to 6. These guys, the people there are quite extraordinary. And again, Joseph will be there at all of those meetings. I will personally be there at the Delhi and Bhopal events. So I will be going to those 2 events. So if you've got anyone in Delhi and Bhopal, then please let me know. I'd be happy to meet them on your behalf and make sure they get looked after. The details and the venues and things we'll have later this week, I should say. That's why I don't want to wander around Mumbai looking for an event. I don't know how far you'd get, but we'll have the details a little bit later this week. But certainly take those dates down, and again, I can email this through later on. Or in fact, this recording will go out, and everyone will have it anyway. And then back in Thailand on the 26th and 27th, there'll be a training on one of those days. I think it's the 27th will be the training. That'll be in Bangkok. So again, if you've got people in Thailand as well is just really starting to go. I met some people, beautiful people in Thailand last week. If you know any, I mean, I'm just finding the people from these Asian countries are just wonderful to deal with. And, you know, the people from Thailand are gorgeous. And so if you've got people over there, then get them to Bangkok. We'll get the venue details for you in due course. Okay, we've got some upcoming events here in Australia. We're firstly, Patricia, our lovely Patricia, will be doing an event presentation up on the Gold Coast on the 16th of May at the Burleigh Heads Surf Club at 7:30. 16th of May, 7:30. I didn't put all the details in there, but most people probably aware of that. But if you're wanting to, or you've got someone up there, let us know. We'll put them in contact with Patricia. Doesn't matter whose team they're in. We always make sure everyone gets looked after. The night after in Melbourne, Mike and Di will be having an event at their lovely home at 5 Waterford Terrace in Keysborough. That's the 17th of May. So again, anyone in Melbourne is welcome to go along, and Mike and Di will really make sure they're well looked after. I will be doing an event in Perth, just finalising the details. And in fact, I'm coming back. That's when I'm coming back from India. I'm going to go into Perth, and it's a Monday night, the 28th. So I will be, once that we've got that detail, we'll get that out to everyone. I do apologise for our friends from Perth and also New Zealand that I haven't yet been able to get there. I was planning to have got there in March, April, because the conference was postponed. In fact, I delayed it till after the conference, and then the conference was postponed because of all the issues I had with visas. And it's, of course, it's just going on, and I realise that we need to get that. So I do apologise to our friends in Perth and Auckland, but I will be in Perth on the 28th, and I'm working to be in Auckland to do a presentation the week after, early June. So again, as soon as I've got that information, we'll get that out to everyone. Now, the international conference this is the event that we keep hearing about that's coming. And I know John is very, very aware of this. I think we may hear something very, very soon. It will be in Asia. It is the international conference. I don't know the dates. It could be next month in June, towards the end, but I don't know. But stay tuned and be ready. And I would start to, speak to your people about the possibility of going, and maybe starting to, even though you don't know, just see who might be interested. Because we want to get as many people as we can to the conference in Asia, because I've got a feeling it's going to be unbelievable, the announcements that will have already been made, and we're actually, we're really going to be at the start of something huge with regards to history being made with this company. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully we'll hear very, very soon all about that. So, ladies and gentlemen, just in wrapping up, I know I've taken a lot of your time, and there's probably more questions that people have. As we get more information about certain things, and I'm actually at the moment looking to get clarification on some issues, and I haven't mentioned them tonight because I don't have the answers. Mike, Patricia, myself are very, very aware of things that we're trying to get clarity on as in this transitional stage. I promise you, as soon as we've got that, we'll get that out to you. But I want to make sure that the information that we're putting out is clear and concise and correct. And so I prefer to hold back until we've got clarity on that, rather than giving misinformation. But I still, at the same time, I feel we need to be talking. I want to be doing something like this, even if I've got to do a song and dance, which probably would mean that you wouldn't be on very long. But try and do something like this once a month to keep the team together. We are hopeful of, again, it's not up to us, but we have put forward for an event to be held here in Australia at the end of the year. I don't know that it will happen. I'm pretty sure the WCI corporate team are keen to come to Australia. If it's not in the year, I suspect it'll be early next year. But what we want to do is have an event here so that we can not only get as many Australians and New Zealanders there, but of course invite all our friends right around the world to come and show them a really great time. So, ladies and gentlemen, look, that brings to effectively a close with where I'm at. Just to say that we're here to help. Not everything. This is not perfect at the moment because things go awry or something happens and we're not sure why, and people get upset and whatever, and that's very understandable. But just remember, we are pioneers in a pioneering company. Now, I know that also means you say, well, I also want to be able to finish my job or do this or do that and build a business and feed my family this year. Well, yep, I'm the same. We all want to do that. But remember, you are building something that will have an asset value. We're not just building something that will pay you every day or week. We're building something that you will be able to pass on to your family and family's family and so forth for a long, long time to come. And we have the best person in charge of Mr. Rock, and the corporate team are wonderful. But Mr. Rock, who's a man of 70 years plus, has a huge amount of experience, and I'm so grateful, and I know Mike and Patricia, Di and Robert feel the same. We're so grateful to have him in charge, of this right at the moment, because there's not many people in the world that would be able to do the things that he's doing. He has some unbelievable contacts. So with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much for your time. I will get this out so that you can listen to it, and you know, if you can send it on to your teams, please do that. And you know, look forward to catching up next time. So again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed the presentation. Good evening.